There have been a few movies in the superhero genre that recognize the larger universes their main characters inhabited. Looking at just movies using Marvel heroes, we had both Spider-Verse films showcasing various iterations of the Spider character, with some versions being integral to the plot and others filling out the background. On Disney Plus, there were 2 seasons of What If and 2 seasons of Loki, emphasizing the concepts of alternate Earths and variant versions of characters. Doctor Strange, in the Multiverse of Madness, gave us 3 versions of the main character, an alternate version of Captain Marvel, an alternate version of Wanda, a version of Captain Carter, possibly from What If, or possibly an alternate version, and brought in versions of Charles Xavier and Reed Richards, thus linking iterations of the X-Men and Fantastic Four to the greater MCU. This showed us that franchises not previously under Marvel's direct control now had a place in the current Marvel landscape, now that Disney had fully acquired the Fox intellectual properties based on Marvel characters. Of course, there have been a lot of crossover characters in various Disney Plus series too, but those were basically MCU versions of Netflix characters as opposed to the actual Netflix versions appearing in the MCU. Most prominently, perhaps, was Spider-Man No Way Home, which brought in the 2 previous versions of Spider-Man from the 2 series launched by Sony, and some of their respective villains. Those universes now exist in the MCU as alternate Earths, and those adventures can be considered canon. A lot of fans are now hungry for follow-up films showing Tobey Maguire's version of Spider-Man, an older or more seasoned version, perhaps partially retired and dealing with a family, or a continuation of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, an angrier version racked with guilt from perceived failure and real loss. No Way Home served as a reminder of what came before, and in part as an apology, perhaps, for not delivering the full potential of those properties. The MCU is a lot bigger now. This brings us to Deadpool and Wolverine, the latest movie from Marvel Studios and the only film released by them in 2024. This is the 3rd outing for Deadpool, the first under the Marvel Studios Disney umbrella, and the first R-rated entry into the MCU. In keeping with the theme of this video essay, it involves alternate Earths and variant versions of characters we have seen before, or in some cases, the actual characters we have seen before, now older. Here is the basic premise. Deadpool journeys to Earth 616 to have a meeting with Happy Hogan in an attempt to join the Avengers, but is turned down. He seems to be searching for a purpose, a meaning to his existence. He wants to matter. As an aside, Earth 616 has been established as the main Earth in the MCU. Deadpool continually refers to some big man or main man, implied to be Tony Stark, which would set this meeting pre-Infinity War, as this Earth doesn't seem to be in a crisis and Tony dies at the end of Endgame. Just my observation, it might not be the case. Deadpool returns to his own Earth, where he has retired from heroing or murdering or however you want to describe his occupation. He works as a used car salesman, is estranged from his girlfriend Vanessa, and seems unhappy. Although he puts on a brave face, he still wants to matter. He still wants to mean something, most likely to be worthy of Vanessa and get her back. His friend group holds a birthday party for him, where we get to see people he became close to in previous films, such as Colossus, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Yukio, and others. There is a version of Shatterstar who died in Deadpool 2. This goes unexplained in this film, but apparently, when Deadpool used Cable's time travel device to save Vanessa from dying, he generated a new branch Earth where he didn't have to form a team. So in this alternate reality, none of that ill-fated team actually died. It would make sense. A knock on the door takes Deadpool outside of his apartment, where he finds uniformed people waiting for him. Thinking they are exotic dancers, he starts to set rules for their performance, but they abduct him and take him through a portal to another location. Now, Deadpool finds himself at the TVA, or Time Variance Authority, where he is approached by Paradox, a senior TVA agent. It seems that Deadpool is being recruited as a TVA agent. He gets a new costume and is excited because maybe his life will have meaning now. Paradox informs Deadpool that his universe is being removed from the sacred timeline. Everything in it will cease to exist. Part of Paradox's job is to monitor this natural pruning, but it will take a few thousand years, and he wants to speed things up. Paradox is creating a machine that will delete this universe instantly, and Paradox will be able to move on to something else. Deadpool asks if this was because of his activities with Cable's time travel device, but he is told that it is because this universe's anchor being, a version of Wolverine, is dead, and that a universe cannot exist without its anchor being. This is a new rule introduced for this film and was never mentioned in either season of Loki. Anyway, Deadpool doesn't want to see everyone he loves disappear, so he steals a controller from Paradox that will allow him to hop realities. This will enable him to find a replacement Wolverine in an alternate universe, and hopefully stabilize his own, thereby saving everyone important to him. He now has a purpose. He tries digging up the version who died at the end of Logan, but this iteration is truly dead. Deadpool meets a height-appropriate Logan in one reality. He is only 5 foot 3 inches tall in the comics, about 160 centimeters. For the record, that is taller than Prince at 157 centimeters, and a little shorter than Daniel Radcliffe at 165 centimeters. I personally feel that Daniel Radcliffe would make an interesting Wolverine, but his salary might be prohibitive. Deadpool meets a version of Logan wearing an eye patch and gambling in a casino. This comes from when Logan was masquerading as Patch and hanging around Madripoor. Deadpool meets a version of Logan embodied by Henry Cavill. Deadpool meets a Wolverine in a brown and tan costume in the middle of a fight with the Hulk. Deadpool meets a Logan that is nailed to a giant X, a scene which comes from a time when the X-Men were living at a base in Australia and were protected from being seen or recorded by any devices. This scene came just after the base had been attacked by Donald Pierce and his Reavers. Deadpool meets Logan from Age of Apocalypse, a version which had lost a hand in a fight with Cyclops. Finally, Deadpool finds a down-and-out Logan drunk in a bar. When this version of Logan passes out, Deadpool notices that he is wearing his classic yellow and blue costume under his street clothes. This Logan might still be a hero. Deadpool drags him back to the TVA, triumphant that he has found a replacement anchor being and saved his universe. Paradox quickly zaps Deadpool and Logan out of this existence, transporting them to the void, essentially a trash heap universe where people and things that have no place on the sacred timeline go when their universes are pruned. I will try to avoid further plot-related spoilers from here on out. I want to focus on the main people Logan encounters in this repository of discarded and failed franchises. I will not cover Easter egg appearances. There are too many. Instead, I will showcase what I will call enhanced cameos, characters who are more impactful to the story and who have a greater presence in past films. The first hero they meet in the void is Chris Evans. Deadpool thinks it is Captain America and urges him to say 2 special words, "Avengers Assemble." However, the 2 words this person utters are, "Flame on!" It is Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch. This character was played by Chris Evans in 2 films released by 20th Century Fox in 2005 and 2007. Due to diminishing returns, the franchise was abandoned, and no further films were made using that cast. At the same time, our heroes meet a version of Sabretooth from the first X-Men film, also released by 20th Century Fox in 2000. He is played by Tyler Mane, the original actor. He is part of a group that includes Pyro, who appeared in X2 in 2003 and X-Men The Last Stand in 2006. Aaron Stanford reprises the role here. There are a lot of other Easter egg-style appearances in this scene and following scenes, but I want to focus on the characters who have some kind of dialogue or play more important roles in the plot. If you watch Deadpool and Wolverine, try to catch all the other references. There are a lot, so it might take several viewings. After some events in the film, no spoilers, Deadpool and Logan make some allies. The first ally we see is Elektra. This version of the character appeared in Daredevil in 2003 and a spin-off film called Elektra in 2005. Both were released by 20th Century Fox. The character was performed by Jennifer Garner, who reprises the role here. Another ally is Gambit, played by Channing Tatum. A film with this character and actor had been in development by 20th Century Fox for a long time, but was not produced by the time Disney acquired Fox, and it was subsequently cancelled. The appearance of this character, played by this actor, is a taste of what never was, what had been abandoned. It was a real surprise to see Gambit appear, especially when the character was so well realized, from the accent to the powers and fighting style. Hopefully this film will generate a positive audience reaction and something will come of it in the future. One more ally they gain is Laura, X-23, from the film Logan. It was released in 2017 by 20th Century Fox. She is portrayed by the same actress, Daphne Keane, now 7 years older. The scenes where she interacts with this different variant of Logan are really touching. It was truly moving to see them together. I've saved the next ally for last because it was the most surprising to me. We have the return of Blade, played by Wesley Snipes, reprising the role that he established in 3 films: Blade in 1998, Blade 2 in 2002, and Blade Trinity in 2004. The first film in this trilogy is credited with starting off the current superhero film boom. These films were released by New Line Cinema, not 20th Century Fox. What surprised me most about seeing this character and actor in Deadpool and Wolverine is that Wesley Snipes appeared in Blade Trinity with none other than Ryan Reynolds. Production rumors suggest that Snipes did not get along with Reynolds and had a lot of other problems with the script, the writer, and the director. And yet here he is. It has been 20 years and a lot has happened to Snipes and his career since then, but I had no idea we would be seeing Blade in this movie. In a lot of ways, Deadpool and Wolverine is paying homage to what has come before, what has been lost, what never had a chance to be. It is a reminder that this genre of film, as diverse as it is, has a long past. The characters and films referenced here helped pave the way, whether they succeeded or failed, for the kinds of superhero movies we have today. As with Spider-Man No Way Home, we have a chance to see these heroes one more time, or in the case of this Gambit, for the first time, and to remember what we loved about them. The worlds they inhabited now exist, in a way, as part of the MCU canon, as alternate Earths, and can be revisited anytime through various media. This is probably the last film using this version of Deadpool, and it is a fitting goodbye to him. Yet, it is also a happier farewell to Logan, who we saw off in a more tragic way in 2017. I knew all of that going in. I just never knew I'd be getting a chance to see and say goodbye to so many other heroes that had their day. Hopefully, they won't be forgotten. If you check out Deadpool and Wolverine, make sure you stay for the end of credits imagery that includes a montage from a lot of superhero films from days gone by. Thank you for watching. See you next time.